One of the things you said there is interesting. So you mentioned about Dave Kennedy. So for reference, Dave is from Ireland. He's a farmer. He sells online coaching to farmers, makes like 150,000 euros a month, which is insane. And the reality of why that works is it's congruent. Like, he is congruent with who he helps, so his audience will buy into him, and he's the attractive character. But it's the same thing for guys over 30, because you're fucking jacked, you clearly know what you're doing, you're eloquent, well-spoken. That's a huge differentiator in terms of the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Like, even if I look back in the day, one of the reasons I did well is because I can talk properly. Compared to like other people, you're clean cut, you seem more approachable than others, and that's automatically like you'll pull in like who you are essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I figured out. Who's going to resonate the most with me, those people.
One of the things you did early in your career, which was very brave at the time, was you started to document your use of steroids on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Was that one of the similar things in terms of a big decision in terms of like putting yourself out there? Because that probably built a lot of your audience pretty quickly earlier on, because like that was, it's interesting, back when we were in the game a bit earlier on, was a very taboo thing that people didn't really talk about other than maybe Jordan Peters. Yeah,
for sure. So I recognized that it was just Jordan Peters, and I recognized how little I resonated with him, because he was 300 pounds, 5'5", and a mutant, right? Okay, well, I don't...
basically Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, I don't really want to be that. I didn't have any belief that I wanted to be like that at all. So I kind of maybe passively noticed a little bit of a gap, that there probably needs to be someone a bit more approachable. There's also no one who had documented going from natural to assisted. And I was crying out for content like that for myself. Like, I needed that, and I just didn't have it. Fortunately, I had a coach who probably should have been talking about it, but wasn't, who took me through that process. Shout out to Cal. So for me, it was always a no-brainer. It wasn't like a huge decision that I made. It was like, this is if I do it, this is going to happen, because I just would love that content to be out there, because it would resonate with so many people. And then as I started to do it, I was like, this is a niche. This is actually like, this is a selling point. Let me emphasize it a little bit more.
One of the things I really like about that is it's authentic. And also, I don't know if you ever think about this with YouTube, is why I like making podcast videos. Like, in 50 years, my grandchildren can watch back and be like, oh, that's that podcast with Josh and Charlie.
Yeah.
Like, which is a sick thing to think about. You have a legacy almost online that's going to live on.
For sure.
But I also think that, from my own perspective, I like that if anyone ever wants to call bullshit on anything you've ever said, it's like, well, just go and look at the other fucking last 7-8 years of like you winning a pro card, you doing X, Y, Z, or like it's all there documented that people can go through, which I think is a really cool thing to look back on. Yeah,
it's such a social proofing mechanism. I think if to bring it back to business, like when someone cold, aka someone who doesn't know me, comes in, like, it's not cold anymore. Immediately, like, they tap on my profile. Oh, he's an IFBB pro. He's a coach. He's got 4,000 posts on Instagram. He's got podcasts for hours that he can go, and you know me within a day. So I think having that social proof, and just you talking on the internet and trying to be yourself as much as possible, is like invaluable.
You mentioned being yourself as much as possible. Why do you say that?
Because it's hard to fake it, I tell you. And I've been around people who have faked it, and it's super easy to fake it in this day and age, right? You do something that might be slightly out of character. Can't think of an example. You post a selfie where you look pretty good. You don't normally do that. You do educational content. Well, guess what happens to that? You get a little bit more likes, and then you think, I might do that again. I might do that again. And the bar just shifts. And before you know it, you look back and you think, fuck, all I do is selfies. Well, that doesn't give me any value, blah, blah, blah. So I can see how you can lose yourself in social media, because the dopamine hits, the comments, the likes, it sends you a different direction sometimes. I've been there, for sure, I've been there. But it's tiring to fake it. It's tiring to feel like you're not really doing any service, any value. It's tiring to put on okay, hi guys, I'm on camera now. Like, let's talk like this. And then you come off and you're just back down to your normal baseline. Like, that's exhausting, you know? And people catch you, and people can see right through it. Especially now, authenticity is like king, and people can just rip through it so easily.
That's personally why I like long form content so much, because
it's
like, it is what it is.
You're gonna fake it for an hour. Fucking hell.
Yeah, and I think that's where people get caught out very quick. It's even why I like actually teaching live business events, because I don't give a shit. I can stand for 5 hours and talk about anything you want and answer anything on online coaching, because there's nothing I don't know or tried or like understand. So I'm very comfortable to be put in the spot in that environment. I think that's when you're very authentic with what you do. And it'd be the same thing from you from a coaching perspective of like, you have no issue people putting you on the spot and asking you certain questions, because you have the history, the background experience to know what to say. But it's when someone has to have everything in their entire life that they're going to talk on camera scripted out, that's when you know it's a problem. And not that saying you shouldn't script some of your content, But if you're having to chat GPT and script everything you put out there, you probably need to learn more about what you're talking about.
Yeah, completely agree. And the art of talking, the art of like delivering that it's a skill. Like, of course, some people are born with a quote unquote gift of the gab. You can learn it. You just got to figure it out. You know, you got to just know it. You got to know what the fuck you're talking about. If you know it, like, you could think about walking into a room and explaining to your mum like what fitness is and whatever it is. If you can do that, just picture your mum is across the room for you, and if you can talk like that, like, you're gonna be a lot better off than faking it.
The position you're in now, did you ever think you'd be earning the money you do and living in Dubai, like even 2 years ago?
I'm gonna say yeah, because like I just I've always had an obsession with hacking the matrix, getting out of it. I've always had an obsession of just knowing that.
Have you ever had a proper job?
On and off. Like, I worked at like Lululemon on the floor for like 7.5 hours.
You got too big.
Yeah. I actually left because I just couldn't gain weight. I was like, nah, fuck this, I need to bodybuild. So a few on and off jobs, but I just knew that I was destined for something. I had that pit in my stomach since I picked up a camera that I can go to the top. And that goes like financially as well. So like, I knew there was a way to the route. There was a route to the top. I just didn't quite know where it was. And I probably didn't even know how to get there until like, honestly, since I started working with you, it was like, oh, it's clear as day now. Like, I get how to get there. Just got to go do it now.
What was the epiphany moment with that?
God. So I've spoke to mentors over the years. I don't talk about them on here, but like probably 3 or 4 different guys, and a lot of it is reading from the same book to a certain extent, but it's the way that it's delivered plus all the extra bits that people have. And I just never heard it the way I needed to hear it. And I think the way you delivered it to me, whether it be in the abrasive way, you can do it sometimes, like, no, that's shit, you need to do this. Like, that resonates with me, because I need to bullshit around, I need to tiptoe around what needs to be done. I think just the way you broke it down for me, this is like step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, like, this is how you do it. Make sure step 1's in place first, make sure you know what step 1 is, then put someone into step 1, then go to step 2, and then just do the same thing. I'm like, that's fucking easy, like, I get that. Actually, one thing that really helped me, I think it was actually Will, that was maybe, I don't know if this is worth 15 grand, but who knows to say. So he basically just said, like, picture your business like a funnel, pour down water, where does it get stuck? All right, okay, well, if you can't get water in, it's a lead problem. If you can get water in, but you can't get them into the program, it's a sales problem. Okay, well, if they're in the program but they're leaving, okay, it's a coaching problem. And you can just like work it out like that. That was the literally penny drop moment. And then having the blueprint through you guys, like, you got no excuse for it to make it. No excuse.